we need to talk about Bellatores. They just released a developer interview going over the core mechanics of the game, and guess what? It's another Korean medieval MMORPG, one with a non-targeting 2-weapon swap combat system, a gathering and crafting mechanic, and that ever-present promise of total freedom. Sound familiar? I'm sure it does if you've been following MMO news for the past few years. This is definitely a game inspired by New World, and after what we just experienced with Chrono Odyssey's closed beta, I am very scared of getting burned again. But as an MMO enjoyer, MMO survivor, I have to believe, I want to believe, that this could finally be the game that breaks this endless string of cursed releases. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Chrono Odyssey is done. They still have a chance to prove that their newer build is as godlike as they say. But putting that game aside for now, and I hope I don't regret saying this again, Bellatores actually looks really good. The biggest difference Bellatores brings to the table is its mastery-based progression. They showcase the massive branching skill trees for not only weapons, but also survival and crafting skills. This isn't a system where you just pick up a sword and spam attack until you level up. There's actual specialization involved. What's interesting is they're limiting how many expert masteries you can have on a single character. That means you can't master everything. And to get certain materials or crafted gear, you'll need to trade or cooperate with other players. It's a system that forces community interaction. But here's the thing, I also don't love being restricted. I play a lot of RuneScape, both old school and RuneScape 3, and I love leveling all the different skills. I'm the kind of player who wants to chop trees one day and then smith swords the next. So imagine if RuneScape told you, pick 3 skills. That's it. Sure, it would feel more multiplayer focused, but I do worry this kind of restriction could alienate players who enjoy playing solo. Not everyone wants to rely on others 24/7, especially if the game doesn't offer robust community tools or a large enough player base. If they don't have an auction house like the Grand Exchange, then trading and finding things that you need would get very annoying eventually. That said, I really do like the crafting and gathering progression system that they're showing. Skill trees that let you improve yield, increase efficiency, and raise your chances of crafting rare items. That's the kind of depth we need. But here's a question that I have. How unique can your gear really be? Can you customize gear appearances beyond just rarity tier, or is it just like common axe looks rusty, epic axe looks shiny, and that's it? They've also confirmed no farmable equipment drops. You either make your gear or you buy it from other players. This further reinforces that player-driven economy that they're going for. If they can pull that off and make it feel rewarding to be a crafter or a merchant, Bellatores could carve out a real niche in a market where too many games just hand you everything from a loot chest. Although I do want good rewards after taking down bosses and tough challenges, so I wonder what they're going to give us instead of gear. Now, about the combat system, I mentioned earlier that it's a non-targeting weapon swapping setup. It's very reminiscent of New World, Throne of Liberty, Chrono Odyssey, and if I'm being honest, none of those games have nailed this yet. Though, again, Chrono still has time to improve. That said, I don't hate this type of combat. I actually like the concept of building your own playstyle using 2 different weapons and discovering unique combos and synergies. The good news, Bellatores doesn't lock you into a rigid class system like Chrono Odyssey does. That's a big win. Having classes feel increasingly outdated in MMOs, especially when everyone ends up with a cookie cutter build anyways. From what we've seen, there are around 12 different weapon types, everything from swords and bows, staves, and magical orbs. They showed off the Great Axe tree in particular, and it looks like each weapon has about 7 to 8 skills that you can have on the bar. Each skill has 2 to 3 branching upgrade paths that can tweak its functionality, adding debuffs, buffs, or changing how it works entirely. This is good. This is real build variety. You could have two people using the same weapon with completely different builds and playstyles. They also seem to be designing combat around different types of encounters. AoE farming, 1v1 elites, group boss fights with mechanics you actually have to learn. They've also shown snippets of PvP, arena duels, open world skirmish, and large-scale sieges. I assume since there are 5 different noble houses, they'll act as the different factions in terms of warring against other players. I just hope PvP is toggleable, because personally I don't care about being ganked while I'm trying to mine a rock. The world also looks to be very grounded in a medieval setting, which I don't hate. I just hope they add events and interesting points in the world and things for us to discover to make the world more exciting to explore. So how about monetization? We don't have confirmation on the business model yet. Is it going to be free to play, buy to play, subscription? Because let's be honest, Korean MMOs don't have the best track record there. I wouldn't hate a buy to play model like how Chrono Odyssey is going to do it, as long as it reduces the chance of the company forcing in pay to win items. Cosmetics are fine too, just don't make them too outlandish that would ruin my immersion. So after all that, where do I stand? I am cautiously optimistic about Bellatores. They're taking some smart risks. They're trying to bring back real player interaction, and they're giving us meaningful progression systems. But I've been here before. We all have. New World, Elion, Archage Unchained, Throne and Liberty, Bless. Every time we get our hopes up, it's like we forget the pain of the last launch. Still, something about Bellatores feels different. And if they can stick the landing, we might finally have a reason to log in and stay a while. They're doing a closed beta test in South Korea soon, which is unfortunate because I'd love to get my hands on it sooner. But for now, we'll wait, we'll watch, and let's pray that the game's good. Let me know in the comments, do you think Bellatores is the next big MMO? Or is it just another overpromised, underdelivered disappointment? I'll be covering this one closely, so if you're curious, stick around. I'll see y'all in the next one. See ya.
Oh no.